I don't know who was worse in that football match, the referee or West Bromwich Albion. They were both really poor today. Coventry City 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. This is your match reaction. If you're going to enjoy this video, a like would be appreciated, and subscribe if you're new to the account. We're trying to hit 1,100 subscribers before the end of February. If you could help me in achieving that goal, that'll be absolutely fantastic. But moving into this match reaction, the first half, it was a fantastic start. We derailed everything that they wanted to do in this game. They kind of set up as a 4-4-2, defending as a low block, and we got that goal from a brilliant Mason Clark run. Milan gets the ball on the right, whips it over. Mason Clark dinks it over the keeper, back of the net, 1-0. It does actually come from Frank Onyeka doing what he was brought in to do, which is winning the ball back into the midfield, breaking it up, and we go and hit them in the first 5 to 4 minutes of the match. That completely derailed everything that they wanted to do. They wanted to sit deep, hit on the counter attack. But let's be real, they did the exact same thing after the first goal. They still just sat back, let us have the ball. And I know the stats say in the first half that it was more of a 50-50 match, but let's be real. Any possession they had was around their back four. They didn't look threatening at all. The only time they looked threatening was in the second half. I mean, in the first probably 10 seconds of the first half, they had that chance where they should have shot it, but they didn't get it under their feet. Other than that, they did absolutely nothing in the first half. And like I said, we didn't dominate the ball necessarily, but we dominated the tempo of the game. We shut them out when we needed to, and they just had no way of combating that. Not too long after, we get a second goal from Rodoni. The assist goes to Thomas, but can you really call that an assist? He runs from our own half. Mason Clark does the smart thing. He brings the fullback into the centre of the pitch, opens that space up for Rodoni, then he has the shot, and it is one of the best goals of the season alongside Ellis Sims against Middlesbrough. Oh my lord, we're winning 2-0. We think we can't throw it away from here, and thankfully we didn't. It's just fantastic. That's what you need in an away game against a tricky side like West Brom, who are fighting for their lives, trying to make it difficult for us, and I feel like that played into our hands today. We knew it was going to be really hard to break them down when they're sitting in a low block, and that chance came from a counter attack, which necessarily we should be doing a lot better. When they're sitting so deep and so compact, we should be able to break that down more than we did in this match. And to be honest, in my personal opinion, we should be doing a lot better, but we need to take those chances, and we definitely did in this game. Now we're going to move on to the referee, which, as I mentioned before, was so poor in the first half. He was giving fouls against us that just weren't even fouls, giving them the other way around in the second half, especially where we were getting fouled, but I didn't think it was a foul. It was just really poor. Sakamoto getting a yellow card, even though he's getting manhandled. I don't like to bang on about referees, and it's not the reason why West Bromwich Albion lost today, or he even impacted the game. It was just a really frustrating watch to watch in the first half, where referees always make it about themselves. Booking our players, but not booking their players. Giving strange fouls away, which weren't even fouls. It made no sense. Rodoni got pulled down to the ground and gave a foul against him. But thankfully, in the second half, he didn't have much to do. It wasn't like they got one goal back into the game, and then every decision was a big talking point in the end. He kind of had a quiet second half, besides a couple of calls that went our way. In the second half, West Bromwich Albion come out of it. They had some good chances. There was a couple where on the back post on the right hand side, Milan's nowhere to be found, and they have that shot. It initially comes from the left, Jay Da Silva. Of course it does. It always does. It seems like that. But we made some pretty good blocks at key times. Thomas headering the ball out. I think it was a really solid defensive display. They had chances to put the ball into danger spots, but we cleared them really well. But I think West Brom would come away from this very happy that it's only 2-0. Not because we created so many chances, but going into this game, they were thinking top of the league, damage limitation if we concede one goal, and from their point of view, they didn't lose the second half, so I think they would come away from it very happy. We would come away from it very happy. I think we didn't get out of second gear. That's the only frustration from me today personally, is I didn't see that fluid football that I saw against Middlesbrough, and I understand it's a little bit of a different game. They're going to sit back, try and hit on the counter attack. We're going away from home where we haven't won in a long time, so it's going to be always that awkward game where we want more out of our team, if you know what I'm saying, but we're still happy with the result. So I don't think we got out of second gear today, but we didn't need to. 3 points is 3 points at the end of the day, and that's all we needed. That's all we needed. Any points on the road is fantastic. Our home form this season is the reason why we're top of the league. And if we just keep picking these victories off, it is perfect for the rest of the season. And when Frank Onyeka actually came off in the second half of Victor Torp, you saw those holes to reappear again in the midfield. Grimes was doing the work a little bit by himself. Torp was found in no man's land, and they were driving through our midfield, playing it down the wings. They looked a lot more dangerous in the second half, around the 80th minute, whenever Victor Torp came on. I don't know what minute it was, but you could definitely tell there was a difference in that midfield. It was a little bit shaky at times when Milan got yellow carded, Tats got yellow carded, and Thomas got yellow carded in the first half. You were hoping that we didn't go down to 10 men, and thankfully we didn't. They played smart, they sat off their players. Tats was a little bit unlucky to get a yellow card. Milan definitely deserved the yellow. It was in the first 15 minutes. And then Bobby Thomas, yellow card. Definitely, he pulls the player. So we're thankful that no one got a red card in this game because we got everyone back. Brandon Thomas Asante's back from his suspension. He came on, did a little bit of a cameo. I think he dived for the penalty shout. Let's be real. You could see he was going to do it a mile away and possibly should have been booked for that. That's my personal stance. If you dive on the football pitch and you don't get the call towards you, the referee should have the guts to book you for it. And he didn't do that a few times for both sides. But yeah, this match reaction isn't going to be long because there's not much to talk about in this game. The first half was where it all happened, as I mentioned. Referee calls going against us, from my personal opinion. Second half, it was really boring, but we did what we needed to do at the end of the day. We needed to get 3 points on the road, and we did that. So I'm really happy. We are 4 points clear of Middlesbrough now. They are currently playing as I'm recording this match. So hopefully they don't get any points in that one against Oxford. Oxford, please do us a favour. You drew against us, now draw against them. So we're going to be moving into my play ratings for this match. We're going to start off with Carl Rushworth in goal. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Clean sheet, made one big save in the second half. I know it was straight at him, but it's the concentration levels. You need to be on it 100% of the time, even when you're not conceding any chances. It was their first shot on target in about the 75th, 80th minute of the game. So to be switched on from that was really good from him. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Milan, I'll give a 7 out of 10. He was caught out a couple of times, especially when they had that chance on the back post, but he got the assist. It was a brilliant ball to Mason Clark, so I've got to give him a 7 out of 10. Moving to Thomas, technically got the assist for Rodoni. Are we counting that? Let's be real. I think it's very fortunate to give it to him, but by the letter of the law, or whatever you call it, it is an assist. But he was a colossal again today, headering everything out of the box. Him and Latabodia, the combination that they have together, their understanding is elite at this level, and they're just showing why they deserve to be the two centre-backs starting. There might be some rotation in the upcoming games because we've got Sheffield United coming up really quickly, and then we've got another game on the weekend, so I won't be surprised if there is some rotation in there. But Thomas needs to start for me alongside another centre-back if it's not Latabodia, but I'll give him a 7.5. Absolutely phenomenal today from him. Moving to Latabodia, I would give him a 7 out of 10. A couple of times he looked a little bit leggy, but again, every time they tried to whip in the ball, he was there just knocking it out. He did a really good job. He wasn't poorer than Thomas. I'm only giving Thomas a higher one just because he got technically the assist, so I'll give him a 7 out of 10. De Silva was the weakest out of the back four. New contract given to him, and people think that he can compete in the Premier League. There's absolutely no chance. Every single time they had a chance, came down our left-hand side. He just gets caught out too often for my liking. Going forward on the ball today, he was really good. Some nice combination passes. Didn't get a yellow card compared to Milan, but at the same time, just those balls in behind, he struggles with a little bit. So 6.5 is the rating I'll give him. We're going to move to Matt Grimes, 7 out of 10. More advanced again with Onyeka in that midfield. He just loves playing alongside him. You can tell it straight away. He can do what he wants to do, get on the ball, play those combinations triangles between him, Latabodia, Thomas, whoever the fullback is. It was really good today. He didn't play as much advanced football as I would like to, but it's very hard to play against a low block, as I've mentioned multiple times in this video. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Onyeka alongside him, 7 also. Really good from him today. He was the reason why we scored the first goal. He broke up the play. He put that tackle in. Then Milan played that through ball. It's Onyeka in the midfield and alongside Grimes. Those two complement each other so well. A couple of times he looks a little bit leggy. He looks a little bit like he doesn't know what to do with the ball, but that comes with understanding of the players that you have around you. Training wise, he'll get better and better in this squad, and that's the most exciting thing about it, is we still haven't seen the best out of Onyeka. Moving to Rodoni, 7.5. I would have given him a 7, but of course he scores that Wildy, so he's got to be bumped up to a 7.5. He was great again today. He's not 100%. He was probably at 80% today. It's just that close control, the sharpness where he does the little turns on the ball was really there today to see, especially in some tight situations where their centre back is pressing him alongside the midfielder and he kind of holds them both off and lays it off. That was really good from him today. Moving to Tats, I think it was a quiet game from him. Wasn't his greatest. I'll give him a 6.5. I feel bad for him. We weren't using him as much as we should have done, and whenever he got the ball, and especially in the first 10 to 15 minutes, he got clattered constantly and the ref wasn't giving anything. And then he's the one who gets booked for complaining about it. I mean, it makes no sense to me, referees nowadays. Moving to Mason Clark, I'll give him a 7.5. Got the goal, so that's why he gets bumped up again. And I think everything went through him. He had that chance in the first half also where he skied it. Should be doing a lot better. Should be testing the keeper from there. Almost went down with an injury, but thankfully he is okay. I'll give him a 7.5. Hadji up front. Look, a lot of people will have a go at Hadji today for not making any movements, but it's very hard to play against a low block. And whenever he got the ball, he did distribute it okay. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10. He was the poorest player on the pitch, but it wasn't his fault necessarily at times. And other times he could have done a little bit more pressing, a little bit more runs in behind just to test out the defenders, and he wasn't doing that. I love Hadji Wright, but you saw when Ellis Sims came on, which moving to our substitutes, I will give him a 6.5. He did a lot more in the 10-15 minute cameo that he had compared to Hadji the whole game. He was holding up the ball a lot better, flicking it on, and looking in hindsight, it probably would have been better to start with Ellis Sims, but you can't knock Frank Lampard for going with Hadji Wright. He scored a hat-trick in the last game. He definitely deserved to start this game, and it's just a different type of game compared to Borough. Borough left gaps in behind. He exploited that. Today was a little bit different. He didn't get much service, and it's a tight game to play in, which sometimes he doesn't thrive in. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Sims, 6.5. Eccles, 6 out of 10 today. Didn't really do much when he came on. Essay, 6 out of 10. Brandon Thomas Asante, his first start back for Coventry after that suspension, I will give him also a 6 out of 10. Did dive for the penalty though. Should have been booked. Let's be real. We've got to be fair. Should have been booked for that dive. It was atrocious. Damn, man, what you doing? Then moving to Frank Lampard, I'll give him a 7.5. Look, the football wasn't the greatest today, but he got the job done. That's all that mattered. A lot of people, after the past couple of matches going 1-0 up, said that we needed to game manage it perfectly, and I feel like he did that to a T, but at the same time, West Bromwich Albion didn't offer anything going forward. They were so bad, and we didn't need to get out of second gear. He made the subs a little bit late for my liking, but it worked out in the end. We got the clean sheet away from home. We got the 3 points, which is the most important thing, and he comes away from it building confidence after that Middlesbrough game. 2 wins in a row now in the league from home to away is perfect. So a 7.5 for me, Frank Lampard, today. Let me know in the comments down below, what was your match reaction to this match? Do you think my player ratings are fair? And who did you think was worse? Did you think it was West Bromwich Albion, or do you think the referee today? I think a lot of people will probably say the referee, let's be real, but West Bromwich Albion didn't put up a fight, seeing as they're fighting a relegation battle. That was so bizarre to me, honestly, watching it from a Coventry perspective. You guys should have put up more of a fight. And maybe if you did, you probably could have scored a goal today, because we were there for the taking at certain times. I feel like we stooped to your level, and you could have punished us on another day, but you didn't. So yeah, that's my match reaction. If you've enjoyed it, please like the video. That would be much appreciated. It helps out the channel so much. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that also. And as always, I'll see you in my match preview for Coventry City versus Sheffield United. Another away game at Bramall Lane. Hopefully Coventry can pick up another 3 points on the road, because we desperately need to keep this gap to Middlesbrough as far and as wide as we can.